It's no secret that Utah is one of the fastest growing states in the nation and has been the #1 fastest growing state since 2010. But did you know that there are plenty of people moving out of Utah as well? Wait, what? Moving out of Utah? Are you serious? Yes, and where are they going? But more importantly, why are they moving out of Utah? It's true, guys. In one single year, a study that was recently released revealed that 10,000 people moved from the state of Utah down to Texas, the Lone Star State, just in one single year. And by far, the top #1 reason why was jobs. And it's not just jobs. There are so many reasons why people choose to move to different states, including from the state of Utah, even though Utah has been the fastest growing state in the country. But there's many other reasons, including being closer to the ocean or the proximity to family, or perhaps it's the weather and you want a different climate. And one other thing that some people want is more diversity. So there's so many different reasons why people might choose to move away from Utah, as well as people that move here. And I've done previous videos that reveal why people move to the state of Utah, but in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why people move out of the state of Utah. If we haven't met yet, guys, my name is Scott Steele, and I absolutely love helping people discover all things Utah, including Utah real estate. And as a licensed agent here in Utah, I'm here to serve you and help. If you're looking to make that move to the state of Utah, or even move away, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. So hit me up. You can drop me a comment or shoot me a text, an email, or give me a call, and you'll find my contact information in the description below, as well as the pinned comment on this very video. And as always, I am the person who responds to those texts, those emails, and those phone calls. Okay, I've already mentioned that over 10,000 people moved from the state of Utah down to Texas, with just under 5,000 people moving from Texas to Utah. This means that Texas is one of just a few states in the nation that export more Utahns than what they import. And for me personally, I'm always really curious where people are moving to and where they're moving from, and most importantly, why. Okay, first things first, I want to talk about the really big reasons why people choose to move away from Utah. And like I said earlier, #1 is jobs. Now, job markets all over the country can be different, but we do know that Utah has the #1 strongest job market in the entire country and is ranked for #1 in job growth and #3 for unemployment. So for every person moving out of the state of Utah for a job, there's also many, many more people moving into the state of Utah for that very same reason. This is just the nature of the economy, especially post-pandemic, when more and more people are shifting and transitioning, especially to the south where there's more sunshine. And since Texas is the #1 state that people move to from the state of Utah, I wanted to look at really why are the reasons that people would move to Texas from Utah. #1, it could be cheap gas. Now, most often gas in Texas is quite a bit or significantly cheaper than here in the state of Utah. Right now, the average gallon of gas in Utah is sitting at $2.78, and in Texas, it's $2.67. So right now, that's not a valid reason, but oftentimes, especially in the summertime, it's typically closer to $1 per gallon cheaper if you're in Texas. The next couple of reasons are really big, and one of those is the fact that Texas has no state income tax. Here in the state of Utah, we have a 4.85% income tax here in the state, and comparative to Texas at 0, that could be a real pull for people that are looking to move away and maybe keep a little bit more of that money in their pocket. Now, as I've explained in other videos, there are so many other taxes at play that really determine what your overall tax rate is. And given that Texas has no state income tax, they do make up for that in other ways, especially in the form of property taxes. And this next reason is a really big one, and it's something that I have conversations with my clients and with people that are moving to Utah every single day, and that is the cost of real estate and housing. Real estate here in Utah has shot up in value as more and more people move into the state, especially from the West Coast, including California. The median home price here in Utah sits at $546,000, and in Texas, it sits at $342,000. So that's a really big difference and could be a really big draw for people, especially younger people that aren't seeing the possibility of them purchasing a home here in the state of Utah and moving to a different state like Texas to find that American dream and purchase a home. And like I said before, most people that leave the state of Utah are leaving for 3 states, namely Texas, Arizona, and California. all of which sit in the south. There's more sun and there's no snow. So it only makes sense that weather could be a really big reason why people choose to move away from Utah and down to Arizona or California or Texas, as well as many other factors. And just to talk a little bit about Arizona, for example, there's typically about 3,000 more people per year that move to Arizona than people from Arizona moving to Utah. So it's not a huge number, but it's significant enough to mention because the second highest state where Utahns are moving to happens to be Arizona. And it goes without saying that the third state that most Utahns are moving to is California. So number 1 is Texas, number 2 is Arizona, and number 3 is California. So why would somebody be wanting to move to California from Utah? It could be opportunities in all sorts of different industries, but it could be your job, it could be climate related, or it could be just to be closer to family or experience the beach and the lifestyle that the ocean provides. Last but not least, I want to mention a couple of things that also impact people's decisions to move away from Utah that we haven't covered here so far, and the first of those is pollution and air quality. In plenty of my other videos, I've explained how the Salt Lake Valley is constrained by mountains and how that affects our weather, especially in the wintertime when we experience what's called an inversion and that warm air gets trapped up above the cold air and trapping those pollutants right down here in the valley. And oftentimes Utah has some of the worst air quality in the country and even the world if we don't get storms that come by and blow that air out of the valley. And as I've mentioned before, this happens to be my least favorite thing about living here in Salt Lake City and in Utah is the air quality. Another big reason why people might want to move away is general affordability. We already covered real estate, but there's so many other factors that weigh into what affordability is. And it could be from food to groceries to daycare to healthcare. So many factors are at play that really play into what affordability means. And there are other states that are more affordable than Utah, and that could certainly play a role in people moving or choosing to move away from the state. So in summary, the top 3 states that Utahns are moving to, starting with number 3, California, with 9.6% of all residents moving out of the state of Utah moving to California. Coming in at number 2 is Arizona, with 10.1% of all people moving out of Utah choosing to go to the Grand Canyon state. And number 1 is Texas, with 11.4% of all people leaving the state of Utah choosing to make their move to the Lone Star State for so many obvious reasons. And in a future video, I think I should cover the differences in lifestyle and what it's like to live in Texas versus Utah and really highlight those differences so that you can contrast and compare yourself. These 3 states make up 29.9% of all people choosing to move out of the state of Utah. And if you happen to live in Utah and you're looking to make that move, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Or if you're looking to make that move to the state of Utah, again, I'd love to be your guide. I have so many resources available for you and I can help guide you along the way. You can find my contact information in the description or the pinned comment below. If you really want to know the top places to live in Utah, check out this video next. And until next time, thanks guys.